Do I think that we live in a safe enough world in the, North America, United States, to say that women are capable of going on a journey without any money in their pockets, to stay at the shelter systems in this country, like the Salvation Army and all the other women's shelters like Safe Haven for single moms? I think that we do. I think that the taxes that pay for these institutions do a really good job. But we'll see. As I start to make my journey at the end of March, starting from the southwest coast of the United States, making my way northward. Why must it be so difficult to be a licensed professional without a car in this country when the licenses that are derived to you come from the state? Alright, so why does the entire process of finding your place in this country and actually integrating, they always make it, it's interesting how they always make it into an immigrant thing, because it seems as though the actual citizens of this country are privileged to having vehicles. So it's nice that it's cold out there and you're entitled to a car, in those colder areas where there are lots of Caucasoid Americans growing up and living in those regions. But for the ones who, are the so-called, quote-unquote hippies that weren't privileged enough to have cars in their lives, how do you go about the world? How do you go about growing up in a city where a car is not important to have, and then make it out in the rest of this country without wanting to move overseas? And I'll tell you how. You start to question the status quo. You start to ask questions about, why aren't there more methods of public transportation? I don't want to get into a car accident. These bitches are crazy. Like, I don't trust the people on the road. I don't want to ram into my conflict by accident, and I wouldn't want that kind of person ramming into me. Year of the sheep over here. Year of the goat. All I'm saying is that it's difficult to convert one state license, and I'm not necessarily talking about driver's license here, into another state's professional working license. In this case, I'm trying to receive my esthetician's license. It's not like I can just get my New York State esthetician's license and then hop onto the bus and get to Wisconsin, for example, which is not on my itinerary, but I'm just giving you an example of where some of my friends have fled to in the Midwest. So, saying that it's a free country is something that's really easy to say, but when it comes down to it, the amount of time and the amount of energy and the amount of money that you have to have just to get all your belongings from, and not just your belongings, the mental breakdown, the amount of willpower that you have to have your family members shattered like glass all over the place, and then to find the place where you're actually going to, on an earthly scale, adapt to the land, which also doesn't make any sense to me, because we live in a contemporary world where you're able to live wherever you want if you can. You don't have to stick to one spot. But the system of government and the state, from state to state in the United States, is what complicates things. Because obviously we can't live in every single state. We can't live in all 50 states. But the fact that you have to have a professional license according to one state is just, control over the people. Why not have a nationwide, not insurance plan, but a nationwide a license to basically be treated like a work slave horse, a workhorse? Because estheticians don't get paid that much. It just has to be a particular state license. It just doesn't really make any sense to me.